Well, we're starting this edition with some breaking news. Now, the Prime Minister has taken to Twitter and posted about the COVID review meeting, which was held earlier in the day. The Prime Minister tweeted, and I quote, had an extensive meeting to review the COVID-19 situation across the nation, took stock of the ongoing efforts to contain the infection. Priority is close monitoring and guiding the containment works in regions where the infection rate is high. In fact, the Prime Minister earlier in the day had an elaborate review meeting to look into all the necessary details. This meeting was attended by the Cabinet Secretary and senior government officials. In fact, we are also given to understand that Niti Aayog chairperson was also part of this particular meeting, trying to look at the roadmap as far as the country is concerned. The priority is right now, as the Prime Minister puts it, to monitor and guide the containment zones. Also reiterating the fact that personal hygiene and social distancing is a must. In fact, the Prime Minister has just put out this tweet, and I would like to quote once again. He had an extensive meeting to review the COVID-19 situation across the nation, took stock of the ongoing efforts to contain the infection. Priority is close monitoring and guiding the containment works in region where the infection rate is high. Remember, states like Uttar Pradesh, for instance, has already imposed a lockdown. In fact, in Assam too, we are given to understand that there could be a possibility that the lockdown could be extended. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, there has been a surge in the number of cases, and that's the reason why there has been a 3-day lockdown that has been imposed, which would be till 13th of July is what we're given to understand, till 5 o'clock in the morning. However, having said that, certain states like, for instance, Himachal Pradesh has seen much better recovery rate and no cases that have been reported in the last 24 hours. However, having said that, Prime Minister is essentially looking at the current situation in all states, especially states like Maharashtra and Gujarat, where the number of cases have only gone up. Let me go across to my colleague Himanshu, joining me on the phone line. Himanshu, ये बताइए कि प्रधानमंत्री के इस रिव्यू मीटिंग में क्या डिसाइड किया गया है, कि किस तरह से रोड मैप क्या रहेगा, और साथ ही साथ अगर ये बात करें कि कुछ ऐसे स्टेट्स हैं जहां पे अभी भी देखा जा रहा है किस तरह से नंबर्स बढ़ते जा रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, देखिए प्रधानमंत्री ने ये रिव्यू मीटिंग की है। हालांकि इसके पहले कई बार वो रिव्यू मीटिंग कर चुके हैं, लेकिन इस बार जो रिव्यू मीटिंग की है उसमें गृह मंत्री अमित शाह मौजूद थे, स्वास्थ्य मंत्री उसमें मौजूद थे, गृह सचिव उसमें मौजूद थे, हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी उसमें मौजूद थे, उसके अलावा कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी वगैरह मौजूद थे। इस बैठक का उद्देश्य यही था कि जिस तरीके से लगातार प्रतिदिन 20-20 हजार और उससे भी कहीं ज्यादा केसेस लगातार हिंदुस्तान में बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं, दुनिया में तीसरे चौथे नंबर पर हिंदुस्तान देश आ गया है, इसको किस तरीके से रोका जा सकता है, क्योंकि जो अभी तक गृह मंत्रालय की तरफ से गाइडलाइंस जारी की गई थी उसको सारे स्टेट फॉलो कर रहे थे, लेकिन कई स्टेट ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने खुद से स्टेप उठाते हुए एक बार फिर से 2-3 दिन का लॉकडाउन करने की घोषणा की है। जैसे कि उत्तर प्रदेश, जो कि सबसे बड़ा प्रदेश है, उसने भी घोषणा की है 3 दिन तक लॉकडाउन की उसने कर दिया है। तो उसके अलावा गोवा है, उसके अलावा तेलंगाना है जिसमें लगातार केस बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं, महाराष्ट्र है, दिल्ली है। तो उसको किस तरीके से जो नई गाइडलाइंस बनाई जा सकती है, गृह मंत्रालय की जो गाइडलाइंस है वो अभी नाकाफी है, क्योंकि अभी तक की गाइडलाइंस के मुताबिक जो मॉल्स हैं या बड़े शॉपिंग कॉम्प्लेक्स हैं, शोरूम है, वो रात को 10 बजे तक खोल सकते हैं। हो सकता है उसमें कुछ फेरबदल किया जाए और वो जो है वो 6 या 7 बजे तक खोला जाए। उसके अलावा जो कर्फ्यू में ढील दी गई थी कि रात को 10 बजे से लेकर सुबह 5 बजे तक कर्फ्यू लगा रहेगा, लेकिन उसको बढ़ाया जा सकता है, क्योंकि जो पब्लिक गैदरिंग हो रही है, जो इंटरेक्शन लोगों का लगातार एक दूसरे से हो रहा है, उससे कहीं ना कहीं ये केसेस बढ़ते चले जा रहे हैं। तो नई गाइडलाइंस आ सकती हैं, उसको लेकर प्रधानमंत्री ने चर्चा की है। अब देखने वाली बात यह है कि गृह मंत्रालय की तरफ से जल्दी कोई नई गाइडलाइंस, अपडेटेड गाइडलाइंस जारी हो सकती है।
Let me also bring in my colleague and our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor, who's joining us on the phone line. Aishwarya, as far as the case counts are concerned, that has basically touched almost the 8 lakh mark, but the fatality rate has certainly declined, which is a positive news. Having said that, as what Himanshu was pointing out, are we really expecting any sort of updated guidelines really coming in from the health ministry, given the fact that there has still been a surge in the number of cases, especially in states like Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra as well as Gujarat?
Shravan, now we are officially on the third spot. If you go by the worldwide numbers of COVID-19 infected patients, but simultaneously, what's happening is that government of India understands that this is a global pandemic. This is a phenomenon which you can only counter, and the only known counter still till date at this very moment when we are talking is social distancing. Hence, you see, there are several cities, even for that matter, today, the whole state of Uttar Pradesh, one of the largest states of the country, is under complete lockdown for the next 36 hours. Pune has around the complete lockdown. So what's happening is that the government understands that the only way you can do is by still maintaining social distancing, new norms, new conditions, all of that. It is for the people to understand. Right from US to Europe to the world, everyone is facing this. Even in the US, you've seen in the last 24 hours the kind of surge. In the last 1 week, US has doubled the number. And Prime Minister understands it. Prime Minister doesn't want the curve to once again go up. That is why, to control the curve, to flatten the curve continuously, there are certain decisions which are going to be taken in. We are not looking at we are not looking at a nationwide lockdown. We are being told that yes, once again, states are going to be asked that they can once again put those very specific regions within a city. So not even complete cities, but then sub-cities and then sectors within cities which they feel need to go into lockdown. But as we have the offices and then the other commercial spaces opening, so a national lockdown is not something which the government of India is at this very point looking at. But what they are looking at is for the people of the country to understand that the only known solution, Shravan, is social distancing, and that needs to be adhered. Basic precaution needs to be taken. You need to wear a mask. You need to be very, very cautious while you go out in the public, and these are certain measures which the government wants to reiterate. Prime Minister is reviewing this meeting because he understands that he needs to keep a tab. Even if you remember, when the situation in the national capital went overboard, the Home Minister intervened, and it's only after that the situation came in control in the national capital. So the fact of the matter remains that government of India is completely aware about it, Shravan, that the only way you can control it is by maintaining social distancing and to implement those decisions which have been taken already far more strictly. Shravan.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya, for putting this into perspective.